Hey everybody, what's going on? Helmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today, I finally sat down to address lethality. I know it's been a giant pain point of the community recently. I did do a State of the Meta article about it, but I figured I'd go ahead and make a video for YouTube as well, just so that my following here can also get a little bit of my thoughts about the subject without having to follow my Tumblr, as I know not everyone has a Tumblr account. Anyways, that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and get into it. Lethality. Why is it busted, or quote-unquote busted, and what can we do to fix it? Now, I want to be very clear right now, I don't think lethality is busted, because it's intended to be a squishy killer. Like, this is the primary stat for AD assassins like Zed, Talon, and Rengar. Like, this is what they're supposed to be buying and stacking. So, if you die as Jhin to a full lethality Zed, it's working as intended. You should be getting blown up because that's the whole point of the stat. Now, conversely, lethality is not very good against tanks, and we see this a lot in professional games, and you'd wonder why lethality carries then are so preferred when you have super tanks like Malphite and, Maokai, sorry, and Nautilus roaming around the top lane. I'll get to there in a second. But so basically, lethality should be allowing champions to blow up other people. Why, if that's how it's supposed to be working, then why is it assumed to be overpowered? There are a few reasons for this. First, lethality is being abused by ranged characters, most specifically Jhin and Varus, and Misfortune to some degree. And this is because Jhin and Varus don't have to actually attack the front line. If they build lethality, they're essentially saying, I'm only going to be trying to kill the back line. And they can do it because they have long-range piercing abilities. Varus' piercing arrow, you have Jhin ultimate and his W, and Misfortune's ultimate obviously will do a lot of damage if you stand in it for even a second with lethality. So, these ranged characters are effectively abusing the stat by saying, it's okay that I do no damage to tanks, because I can just bypass it entirely and hit the squishies in the back. So, that's a bit of a problem. The other issue is that it's a very squishy meta right now. You do have Nautilus and Maokai and Shen and Poppy all being played, but they're increasingly few and far between, and especially in normal games, nobody plays tanks, as I've discussed in a previous video. And because of this, when you have a Rumble top, a Jace mid, and a Master Yi jungle, everyone is going to be weak to lethality. So it looks like, oh, well, you just build this cookie cutter build on any AD carry and instantly kill people. Well, you have no tanks. If you really want to not die to lethality, build even a scrap of armor, and it becomes so much harder for them to kill you. The other reason is that there were a couple of busted items. I say were a couple of busted items because they've actually both been recently nerfed. Edge of Night for a while was really busted, and it wasn't the fact that Edge of Night granted lethality, but rather the fact that it had a spell shield on a 33% uptime. That means a third of the time you are running around, you have a spell shield. That's way more than Banshee's Veil, and that was really ridiculous. Conversely, following the nerfs, it gives less lethality, I believe, and it also only has a 9% uptime on the spell shield activation. So it's a lot more likely to find someone with their pants down if they're not using lethality in windowed activation periods. The other reason is that Black Cleaver actually had really big synergies with lethality, because lethality is weak to armor stacking, like I currently mentioned, but the problem is that Black Cleaver could shred up to about 50% of the target's armor, unless I'm doing my math wrong. I might be doing the math wrong. But anyways, it shreds a lot of the target's armor. So if I'm sitting on 200 armor and then I get max Cleaver stacks, suddenly my armor is low enough that lethality really contributes a meaningful amount, and once it's doing that, then I can be killed even though I'm a full tank just because Black Cleaver plus lethality. Black Cleaver, though, was also nerfed recently. It is no longer a very attractive item on AD carries. Hell, it's barely an attractive item on the champions I play who normally like it, like Kled and Garen. So, because of this, most AD carries really won't want to buy Cleaver, and this makes it so that it's a little bit easier on people to counter lethality, as you can build armor and rest assured that it's going to work. So, effectively, lethality's perception has still carried over, and I do think that there are issues with Edge of Night Ghostblade's use on ranged carries. I think that if they were made melee only, it would do a lot towards addressing the player base's concerns of lethality being overpowered, but I really don't think it is overpowered, especially following the nerfs. I think it's in a relatively decent stat here, or place here. And if anything, what needs to happen is champions like Varus and Jhin need to get nerfed, as they're already providing a lot of damage on top of a lot of utility, and that might need to be something to be looked at. But really, just build a chain vest, and suddenly lethality users aren't really doing that much to you. There's a reason I've been playing a lot of Malphite top against Quinn and Jace lethality stackers, because you build a chain vest and suddenly they can't hurt you. Their poke doesn't do anything. Anyways, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there. Let me know your thoughts on lethality. I would love to get a discussion going down in the comments section where we can go ahead and talk about this. And let me know if you guys are still thinking lethality is overpowered, or if you think it's in a reasonable place following the nerfs. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday and Friday, and on patch days as well. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.